What's up guys, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you the best keyboard settings in 2023. And if you really ask me, it's all preference, but these are mine and these are just very good settings. And I'll be going over my keybinds too, but a lot of people just wonder the sense because they're mostly comfortable with their keybinds. But I'll be showing you everything just in case you're curious on what I use. So to get started with this video, the sensitivity, and then let's just take a look at the X and Y. The X and Y, I'd keep between about 3 and let's say 9, depending on your DPI. I play on 1600 DPI, and a lot of people say 6.8 is very high for that, but I've just grown up on like a very high sense, so I don't really care enough to change what I'm used to. So I use 6.8, 6.8, and this is a new setting. I'll be going over this in 1 second. Targeting and sensitivity, or targeting sensitivity and scope sensitivity. I have this at 30.1 and 23.5. 23.5 I just feel like is very good tracking. You're probably like, that's very high, but look compared to this, you can see that this one is much slower and I'm moving at the same amount. That's because your FOV gets lessened, therefore the rate will be faster on how fast you move it. And that's why I have mine on a much higher one, because when you have less FOV, it just makes it go a lot slower. And scope sensitivity, there's not even snipers in comp. But if you're like a no build player or something, I just have mine at 30.1. It's just I just like a fast scoping sense, I guess. It's just grown on me. And then the new setting. A lot of people are confused with this setting, but if you have yours over, I'd say about 145, you're doing it wrong. Cause look at this. Oh wait, I can't get it. Whatever, let's just do 140. If you're doing this, right, it looks fine. Like, it doesn't look very choppy. But then if you raise it to about let's say 160, look, you're gonna notice that it's choppy. Maybe not, but when you look at this, right, you're gonna notice that it gets a lot faster when you take it out. The rate on how fast you do it, if you pull that, if you're just a player who pulls out your pickaxe and you edit, it's gonna be a lot more inconsistent with the changes. It's gonna make your sense turn slower whenever you pull your pickaxe out. So if you're a pickaxe, if you pull out your pickaxe, I recommend staying about under 135. I play on 120 because I don't like the much change, and I just like a little bit higher, and you can't really notice the change. But I plan on raising it to about 125, 130. I'll actually raise it to about 130 right now. I'll try to practice with that. 130 that's pretty good. I think, oh, I'm lagging. Oh, I get these very often. But yeah, this is just my preference for these settings. These I just keep on off. If you don't have a controller, just put this on, or I mean keep this off. But if you're hybrid, keep this off. And if you don't have a controller, keep this off. But if you have a controller and you plug it in and it's turned on, turn this on. Because if you drop your controller, or if your controller falls in the middle of a fight, it's gonna give you stick drift. And it's just bad. So I'd keep this on if you have a controller plugged in. But I keep it off since I don't. My controller is broken, so I don't have it plugged in. Ignore all gamepad input. If you are using a input remapping tool, remapping controller input to keyboard keys, and don't want the game to also receive a controller input. This just matters if you have any controller to keyboard issues, or not issues. I don't know how to explain it. It's so basically buttons from your controller make it so it hits something on keyboard. So if you turn this on, it's gonna make it so nothing transfers from controller to keyboard. So if you don't have anything like that, you can leave this off. It doesn't matter. Use custom diagonals. I'm gonna show you this real quick. A lot of people still use rooting and I think it's X2 keys. This is what double movement is. It allows you to move to the side like this, like diagonally. On controller, you can do that. You don't need any software or anything. But on keyboard, this is what happens when you don't have it on. Watch this, ready? If you move to the side, it's just gonna make you run into the wall. But if you have custom diagonals on, it allows you to run to the side. And if you play with the off, or if you're like a fast editor, you're definitely gonna want this on. You are definitely gonna want this on. And even if you have trouble editing, no matter what, you should have this on. But especially if you are a fast editor. Every edit, if you move straight, right? Like, look at this. Compare that to this. Doesn't it look like when I do this, I have a lot more time to edit? It's because I do. When I'm strafing to the left, it's giving me more time to edit this compared to moving straight forward. But if you're doing this, it looks a lot faster compared to this. Like the triple edit looks just the same. Like you can make it slower too. But it's just gonna give you a lot more time to edit, therefore you need more edits. Like this. Like, just watch. Like, you can just do all sort of stuff. So these are like my preferences for custom diagonals. You should have it on, of course, and have it anywhere from about, I'd say 62 to 70. 70 is like this. It goes like very far to the left, and then 60, or I'll go to 62. 62 is just like this. It's pretty close. I keep mine on about 64, 65. I'm gonna put it back on 64. It's gonna feel a lot better. Try using it. If you don't like it, you can turn it back off. Or I just put it a little above this line right here. Maybe you can put out like 55, something like that. Moving on to strafe angle. Just copy these. I don't really feel like explaining them. It doesn't quite matter. Sorry if I'm moving very fast. You just try to pause the video if you can. These don't matter, by the way. Moving on to keybinds. WASX. These you should have as WASD no matter what. I just started the game very weirdly, and I had very small fingers when I started keyboard. I was about like 11 or 10, I think, when I started keyboard. That was, I believe, 2020 I started keyboard during like the summer seasons because I was very bored and I had nothing to do, so I just ordered a keyboard off Amazon. I was like, alright, let's just try this out. And I didn't know because I didn't feel like following any tutorials and I wanted to be different, kinda. So I felt like I was the main character. And yeah, just make sure this is WASD. And then I have my sprint bind as B because it's close to the space bar. And my inventory C, my what is my V? Oh, V is my 5th slot. Then B, I have my sprint, so I can click all 3 of those with my thumb, but I click C with my thumb or not my thumb, my thumb. I click C with my pointer finger because you don't really need to go in your inventory with your thumb. And when you're going in your inventory, you normally have spare time. So, oh, whoops, I didn't know that would exit me out. Yeah, sprint, just put as the open finger that you don't have many binds for, like your pointer finger. I have so many binds for my pointer finger, so just make sure you have an open bind for sprint. These just have as the classics, except for harvesting tool. Keep this at, I use Q unless you want to put like your floor as Q or something. That's a good thing to put it as, like your cone or your floor. Otherwise, if you don't use anything, just put it as your harvesting tool if you have like a spare key. Reload you should have as R, and you should have as E or F, maybe even G depending on your preference. And then you should have these as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a letter, because 5 is just very far unless you just like the letter, or the letter 5, the number 5. Wall and stair. No matter what, these should be your wall, or these should be your mouse buttons. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. These should be your mouse buttons, your side mouse buttons. Sorry. And if you don't have a mouse with side buttons, get one. Come on now. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to go over crouch. My crouch is caps lock. I have shift as my cone, so I just had caps lock as an open button. I don't use anything for control. You should have it as control, by the way. My floor I have is D, because like I said, I had small fingers when I was younger. One, drink break. Alright. I have as D, I had small fingers, and it was just in the general area. So I enjoy it. You can also have it as like X, C, Q, anything like that. Roof, I have as left shift. It just feels comfortable for me, and like I said, just put it as anything as an open finger. Trap, I have as T. It's just basic. Come on. Place building, all these don't really matter. These are basically just basic things. It's just whatever. It's just spare binds. Building edit, probably the most controversial keyboard bind, other than sensitivity. But I'm gonna be telling you the best ones right now. So you'll be seeing a lot of shift. These are the binds you'll basically only see. Shift, E, F, C, G, and maybe sometimes like, that's basically it, to be honest. I have mine as E. The best ones are E, F, and C, but the best one most likely is F. F can also lead you to G, it can lead you to R, it can lead you to C, and it's closest to D, which is in the general area. E is basically just as good because it's next to R and it's next to T. To be honest, E would be a lot better in Chapter 1, like late seasons. That's because of how, like, you had a trap, like bouncers, you had many traps. So that's why it would be good then. Oh, really quick. Oh yeah, just make sure you have that on E or F, maybe even C, if you have C as an extra bind. Scroll wheel reset is very important. Just have it. It's an extra bind. Make sure you have this side of building edit as mouse wheel down, and then this side, like the right side of reset building edit, as mouse wheel down. Crouch while editing, just make that your crouch button. Select building edit. That's just your left mouse button, casual. And then the last setting of today, reset building edit, I have as my right click. And there's basically nothing else to go over. Oh, I have one quick, very good setting. First of all, scroll down to, where is it? Oh, I scrolled past it, of course I did. Go up to MISC. Basically, all of these are going to be empty for you. Go to switch quick bar, and then put the main one on any spare key, just one that you don't use at all. And then go to the settings tab, just all of this, then turn disable pre-edit option off. It's going to be very hard to get used to, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's so worth it, guys. I'm gonna be honest, I hated it at first too, but if you, let's say you do something like this, right? You go for a triple edit, and it just doesn't edit. Like that. You see how it just delayed my tone right there? It does that a lot. Like that too, right there. it tends to do that a lot, like a lot. I don't know why. You're gonna have to ask someone. But turning this off and then putting the misc thing, where is it? Putting the switch quick bar as anything, it helps so much. I don't know why. Like, it feels so much cleaner, and if you need to, you have 3 edits. Like, look, this is another quick trick. You gotta keep someone raw, you could just go bang, and then shoot them. Because they're just gonna be holding the raw. Maybe take it, they're gonna be holding the map. They're gonna be holding their maps out, expecting you to edit the wall when you take it. If you want, you can just go like this. Oops. You can just go quick. Oops. You need to go with a quick. Oops. Cone in their box. Reset. Full box. Full box. And that's to end off this video. If you want to see any of my other settings, like all of my main settings, like this, all of this, that's in my controller video. That was my most recent video. I'll put that at the end of this. And that's to end it off. I'll see you guys in the next one.